Hello all, I welcome you again to my class. Students, we were studying about force and friction. Now, in this we have covered the following topics. What is force? We have studied what is force, balanced and unbalanced force we will study after this. Studied about what is force. We have studied types of force, in which we have studied contact force, its type, muscular force and frictional force. Now in today's class we will study non-contact force in types of non-contact force and friction. Non-contact force. Now as we have studied what is contact force and its type, now we will study non-contact force. Non-contact force are forces that can act on the bodies which are not in contact. Means the forces acting between two objects that do not require any physical contact. There is no physical contact between the two objects. That is known as non-contact forces. Now there are three types of non-contact forces. First is gravitational force, next is electrostatic force, and the last one is, first of all we will study gravitational force. Okay, when you throw a ball, the only force that makes it come down is a gravitational force. When you throw something, what happens? It comes again to you, back to it comes down. So it is due to the gravitational force, and everything pulls each other in the universe. So the force of attraction with which objects pull each other is called gravitational force. Have you seen everything comes down? Now you can see this apple, it's falling down. This is due to the gravitational force. So it is the force with which earth pulls everything towards itself. And its example, you can see the sun pulls earth, and gravitational force between them makes earth move around the sun. Earth has gravitational force, and due to that gravitational force it revolves around the sun. So a force that acts on you and all the objects around you all the time is known as gravitational force. And gravitational force makes everything on the earth falls downwards, not upwards, downwards. So a ball thrown up slows down and then falls down the earth because of the gravitational force. And gravitational force is non-contact force. There is no need of contact, and every object exerts force on every other object. Every object on the earth exerts its force on the another object. Now one more thing I want to add here, it is the magnitude, या आप कह सकते हो the quantity of force depends on the masses of the two objects. Suppose the force of gravity acts between all the objects. Now, but if the mass increases, the force of gravity also increases. You can see here. And if distance between the object increases, the force of gravity decreases. जितना दूर होगा उतना force of gravity कम होगा दो objects के बीच में, और जितना ज़्यादा ये मास होगा उतनी ज़्यादा force of gravity ज़्यादा होगी. So यहाँ पे कोई contact नहीं है. There is no contact between the objects. So it is a type of a non-contact force. Next is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force, the force exerted by a charged object on another charged or uncharged object, is known as electrostatic force. Means the force exerted by two charged objects, या between two charged object, is known as electrostatic force. Now there are two types of charges, positive and negative charge. Okay, when two positive charges are near to each other or two negative charges are near each other, means like charges they repel each other. वो दोनों charges एक दूसरे से दूर होंगे. दोनों objects अगर positive charge के हैं या negative charge के हैं, they will repel each other. And if opposite charges, objects of opposite charges, they attract each other. And you can see an example of electrostatic forces. When you rub a comb on your hair, it requires electrostatic charges. When you rub a scale on your hairs and you bring it near the pieces of paper, what happens? It gets attracted towards it. When you rub a balloon on your hair, it can also attract these pieces of paper. So these are all electrostatic force. Next we come to the magnetic force. It is very common. Magnet, now you can see here, this is a magnet and it exerts a magnetic field around it. And magnet, magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. The force exerted by two magnets or between a magnet and a magnetic material such as iron, nickel, cobalt is known as magnetic force. A magnet can attract from distance because it is surrounded by an invisible field. एक invisible field होती है magnetic field. And if in a magnet two poles repel each other and unlike poles attract.